Today on the channel, we got something real fun, I'll bet a little bit controversial, with the brand new WWE Mattel Elite Target exclusive Hall of Champions 4-pack.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Elite unboxing and review. And today on the channel, no stranger to the table, another WWE Elite box set. I remember for a long time, we were saying, where's the box sets? Where are the box sets at? Seemingly getting a lot of box sets now, so kudos to Mattel for getting us the figures we really want. In an interesting pack here today with the Target exclusive, of course, Elite Hall of Champions 4-pack. But for all your Elite 4-pack needs, you're going to have to head to Target. But for me, I got to thank Mattel as they sent me this ahead of time. This should be released fairly soon, but they did send this to me. I do appreciate it from Mattel, but I can't wait to dive into this, of course, with all of my Warrior-loving heart, as we know. But an interesting 4-pack right here, and I think a lot of people are like, why these 4s? When they're talking about the history of the WWF WWE Championship, why these 4? And Todd McFarlane, you told me, and I totally agree with Todd McFarlane from the couch, probably the greatest champions of all time right here. Noticeably, no Hulk Hogan. Nobody liked that guy. I've told you guys that forever. He's like a young Duke, but a little bit better. A little bit better than Duke. I will say that, Todd. But of course, Bruno St Martino, really for most of us that are still alive, that's kind of the start of the WWF in some instances. They go and start with Bruno. You know, they work their way there. Maybe Superstar Billy Graham a little bit. Of course, for me, I love this little superstar. Then to Bob Backlund's, the Iron Sheiks. Then into the Hulkster, of course, which killed the business for a good amount of time, as we do know. And then I think Macho Man had a stint in there, maybe a little bit, but then you get to the Ultimate Warrior, and that's where things really exploded. So that's why you got to go here second. That's the second zenith there. And then the Warrior eventually lost the title. Shenanigans all over the place. We all remember that. No good Macho Man. And then, of course, Warrior getting his revenge, retiring the Macho Man, as we do know. And then we do know Todd McFarlane. Of course, Jake the Snake Roberts, Macho Man got in that big fight. And then Macho Man had to write a letter to the Ultimate Warrior begging for him, could you please tell Jack Tunney to reinstate me? Warrior did the right thing, let it back. Good for Warrior there. We know how that whole went down there. But anyways, nothing really happened with the WWE until, of course, John Cena. There was no real Attitude Era champion that really stood out for anybody. I don't know. There was some Rock guy, some Austin guy. Not exactly sure there. But then John Cena took off, and he really did take off. And then somehow we got to Roman Reigns. I don't know. But that's a very poor excuse or explanation, more like it, of what's going on here. But it is an interesting one. We do got a readout on the back, and I did briefly read these, and I think it makes a little bit more sense when we read the back of the packaging here. But I will say, very cool to get this box set. In a perfect world, if Kyle was booking this box set here, give me like, and I don't know, I'm going to try to do this off my top of my head quick, but give me like an old-timey championship 4-pack. But once again, you try to put your business hat on, and some will sell, some will not sell. But you put Bruno in here, you put Superstar Billy Graham, you put Bob Backlund, you put the Iron Sheik. Let's put them in a box set. Will it sell well? I don't know, but that would have been a fun box set. Then you get the Hulkster in here. Maybe you throw Andre the Giant in here, the Macho Man, and of course the Ultimate Warrior. You have to have it. I know, Todd, they should just do a 4-pack of the Ultimate Warrior. That makes more sense, but we'll just go with this. And then, you know, you get to Warrior and you go from there, and you get, well, you can't sign Ric Flair, and I guess you couldn't get Macho Man at the time too. So it's all just kind of craziness. Diary of a Madman. Yeah, you're about right on that, Todd. But you know, but then you go in, you go to the Attitude Era, you get Austin, you get The Rock, you get The Undertaker. You guys get where I'm going. And I don't know if any way Mattel could have went where somebody wouldn't have complained, you know, and maybe they're thinking this is the Mount Rushmore. I don't know. Well, whatever it is, I'm happy to get a new Ultimate Warrior. And this is an Ultimate Warrior a lot of us have requested for a heck of a long time. And we're going to talk about all these figures, so we'll get into it. But first, let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Your typical box set here. Hall of Champions at the top. Now, longtime Elite collectors know the Hall of Champions subline. Probably my favorite subline packaging design ever was a Target exclusive. So it's playing on that Target brand for longtime fans. True Effects up there in the corner. Big window box. How cool would it be to get autographs on this one? Unfortunately, you're not getting 4 of the autographs there. Elite, you got their names there. Beautiful packaging framed out on there, looking very good. Glamour shots right there. Oh man, they went to the mall back in the 80s, got that glamour shot together. Elite collection, elite collection. Jibber jabber for days. And then you got the readouts of each superstar right here, which I'm going to do. Reading with Kyle, Bruno St Martino. After capturing his first championship from the original Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, the Italian strongman held the title for 7 years, 8 months, and 1 day. A record that may very well be unbeatable. The Ultimate Warrior, the greatest of all time. Nuff said. Yep, that's a good copyright. Oh, there's more. At WrestleMania 6, Ultimate Warrior stood as the victor of the Ultimate Challenge when he ended Hulk Hogan's 1,474-day reign as WWE Champion and ushered in a new era. And boy, did he ever. Did he ever. Didn't even break a sweat. I don't know how that face paint came off. It must have been bad application, I'm guessing. But I don't even think he sweated in that match. Shout out to the Warrior. John Cena, as face of the franchise for over 15 years, the leader of C Nation tied a record for the most amount of championship reigns with 16 combined WWE and world titles under his belt. Getting more Cena figures out there. We know how that goes at this point. A lot of John Cena love this year, and it makes sense. I am no means a huge John Cena fan. It's a little bit past, but I understand people that are younger than me. I get it. They love John Cena. And like a lot of performers, you come to respect them even more as time goes on. And that's where I'm at with John Cena. It was just kind of, he was there. And now you look back, you're like, wow, yeah, he did a lot. He was around. He had a lot of title belts. You get the whole thing. And maybe we'll get there with Roman in the future as well. And I don't got anything against Roman either, but Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, set a modern-day record as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion with a 1,316-day record, becoming the first superstar with a 1,000-day reign in 35 years. Acknowledge him. Okay, we'll acknowledge him. We'll do it just this once, Todd. Put your big toe down, Todd. All right, there it is, box set. Heave-ho shuffle, like the Harlem Shuffle, but different. Interesting background. I don't know if you want to keep that. See you later. Goodbye. And bam, plastic prison 4-pack. But I'm going to take this offline, get these guys out of the package. We'll be back talking all things Hall of Champions 4-pack. All right, we got the 4-pack out of the box. Let's go in order. I think that makes the most sense in the Hall of Champions. We're going to start with one, Bruno St Martino. And we're going to start with his terrible towel. He's going to wave this thing around. You don't even want to know what this towel's seen. This towel, if you could speak, horrors. But it is a white towel, a little terry cloth or something like that, but it makes sense for Bruno. Back in the old days, that's what all those guys carried, a towel out there. They were ready to go. And Bruno, ready to go out of the package. 2 fists of fury and 2 gripping hands. So you could choose your own Bruno adventure at the end of the day, which is always fun to do, to choose your own Bruno adventure. But we do got that. But now we're diving into Bruno himself, and we're going to start off with that title belt there. How about that? First time in the line title belt, the old school, I believe, WWF title belt right there. The championship, I believe what that is. This almost reminds me, there's a lot of similar belts, of course, in wrestling history. Heck, you go to your local indie promotion and they're ripping off all kinds of title belts a lot of times. But this reminds me a lot. Whenever I see a design like this with the United States, I think of course, the United States title belts we've seen over the years, many a times, many a different promotion there. But Bruno, quite the champion once upon a time. And there's a lot of people that collect just the belts. And I think a lot of people would be happy to get something new here. Gives a little extra dash of pizzazz for one Bruno St Martino as well. As Bruno was way before my time. Only stuff I saw with Bruno was, of course, tape trading and seeing old rentals and things. And obviously didn't set my world on fire being an Ultimate Warrior kid, but I respected Bruno, understand Bruno. I know the history. I've read the biography. I've seen the documentaries. I get the whole story, but you like what you like, you don't what you don't. But I wouldn't say I hated Bruno, but I would have to say I was more of a Thez guy than Bruno guy, and from what I've seen and that kind of stuff. Maybe. I don't know. You guys chime in on that. I guess depends where you're from. If you're from the Northeast, you're Team Bruno all day long. But if you're a Midwest kid like me, you're Team Lou Thez. But then these guys retired before I was even born. So I don't know. Who knows? But Bruno looking interested with that title belt. But that is a huge selling point for this Bruno here. The other selling point to me is the new head sculpt on Bruno here. So we got a new Bruno. A little bit younger Bruno is what we got on this one. He's even got a little Todd McFarlane on the side eye, Todd. I know you appreciate that there. Got quite the look on the hair here. My grandma would be all over this haircut. Let that guy in. Let that nice Bruno man in the front door is what she would say. Looking good there. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. And Bruno, not the happiest of camper right here. Not a happy camper. Looking a little bit mad right there is what he is. But looks good. And I do like the attention to detail that they got the cauliflower ear on Bruno St Martino. So that is pretty darn cool as well. Diving into the rest of the body, you got that hairy chest, you got those hairy forearms. What are we doing, Mattel? What are we doing? Perfect opportunity to lay out some real fur. I don't know. We're going to talk at San Diego Comic-Con, that's for sure. Or maybe not. Who knows? But definitely got the hair going on the body here. Got the body hair for Bruno. Big stocky Bruno, too, of course. Not too different than his last figures. We'll compare those here in a second as well. Two Fist Furies we did mention there. Got the high white socks, the black boots. Got the red trunks on him. Plain Jane, but that's the way it was back in the day. I'm sure he would come out and they'd be like, whoa, Bruno's wearing red trunks today. Oh my gosh, we're used to those black and blue ones. Oh, he's blowing minds left and right. Maybe, maybe not. Of course, I guess articulation, arms all the way around right here, bicep cut, double jointed, pinless elbows, hands back far side to side, head back far side to side, ab crunch, waist articulation. The Bruno splits. Leg goes up. Should check the other one. Leg goes up just fine. Double jointed pinned knees. Not fine there, though. Pins. Not here for him. Not here for him. No knee pads there. No knee protection on old Bruno. It's going to be like those old timers when I was a kid. Kyle, make sure you put cardboard down. Protect your knees. And I scoffed at him, and now my knees suck. Bruno probably had the same problem. Ankle cut right there, or boot cut. And then, of course, ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down. Made in Vietnam. A Vietnam special right here for Bruno St Martino. And he does fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand. Using discount code Kyle, save 10%. There's old Bruno, but we've got Brunos of the past. We've got 3 Brunos now. 3 Brunos. Blue, green, and red. Can we get the black trunks and just get the 4 horsemen of Bruno St Martino figures? Maybe. Maybe. One thing you could do, depending what you want to do, is you could flip-flop some heads around, too, if you want to make them a little bit different. It is a possibility. Choose your own Bruno St Martino adventure, which I believe nobody has ever said that in life. So I'm just breaking records here once again. But now we're going to move Bruno to the side. No offense, Bruno. We're diving into the Warrior. We're feeling the power of the Warrior, and we're excited about this one right here, as this is basically the Hasbro Warrior. If you guys remember Hasbro's back in the day, you don't know how big of a deal it was to little kids in elementary school getting an Ultimate Warrior Hasbro figure. It was absolutely amazing. Everybody on the playground had the Warrior, Todd McFarlane. It was a happy day. Unfortunately, they straddled him in that terrible jumper, but you know what? I looked past it because I was that big of a Warrior guy. And then the second Warrior, they put him in that no good Hogan pose, and I still look past it because I'm a Warrior guy. But then they finally got it right with that third Ultimate Warrior. That was my favorite playing Ultimate Warrior as a kid. Your mileage may vary, of course, but that was my playing Warrior there. Absolutely love that one. The old Skinner pose, but I think Warrior came first, didn't he? Either way, that was my favorite Warrior. But I love the Hasbro Warrior. When I think of Hasbro's, that's the first figure I think of. That was the one I was so excited for. I'll never forget getting that first wave. Just hours of fun, hours of entertainment. Just a happy time for young Kyle. And we're trying to capture that dragon once again. But now we're going to dive into Warrior in the modern times. And unfortunately, there's stuff I like with this, and there's stuff I don't like with this. And I hate to say it. I hate to say that about the Ultimate Warrior, but here we are. But first off, we do got 2 Fists of Fury, just like Bruno. 2 gripping hands, just like Bruno. And that's probably where the comparisons stop between the two. But we do got that going on. But we're going to start with the head sculpt here. And it looks, I don't know, it looks just a bit cartoony. And I'm trying to remember where this head sculpt came from. Was this part of that Papa Shango Ultimate Edition 2-pack? Was this one of the heads in there, just with the different face paint, obviously? Something about it just looks like a mannequin of the Ultimate Warrior. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's a toy, Todd McFarlane, but it just, something about it just is a little bit off from me. But he does got that beautiful 80s hair metal hairdo going on there. Looking very nice, but just a little bit off in the head sculpt. But the iconic face paint on here, and it's funny, is this outfit everybody thinks of with Hasbro. They don't think about him wrestling in this outfit. I think most people just go back to the Hasbro, and that's where I go as well. And we'll do some comparisons as usual in this video here. But we're going to dive into it. Of course, we do get the world title belt here for the Ultimate Warrior. Of course, this is my heavyweight title belt. When I think of the best heavyweight title belt of all time, this is where I go to, the old Winged Eagle. Just absolutely beautiful. The big gold, number 2 for me. Personal preference, as you guys know. Now, he does get the tassels here. Man, the fluorescent tassels, just amazing. The wristbands there, just electric colors there. And the orange, the green, the pink, just looking so cool. It's just the power of the Warrior. It's compelling me right here is what it's doing. But then, of course, you get the green trunks on him. You got the Warrior logo on the butt. Tassels on the legs, on the knee pads. Once again, you got the pink knee pads, the Warrior logo. Got those cowboy boots. Once again, fringe is in, folks. We got some fringe here, like a young Dominic Mysterio. And then we got the Warrior logos on that, white boots as well. Pinless joints up here, knees, pinless as well. Continue to play all those hits, but I feel like there's some tightness. There it goes, it went up. But it does feel like there is some tightness in these legs here. Now, you could heat these up, soak them in some hot water, and just lost a tassel. But but there is definitely some tightness in this joint. So I don't know if we can work through it a little bit, but there is some tightness in those hits. And of course, hips, and it is a Vietnam special, as we know, but very good in those knees. I mean, I really dialing in the Mattel Vietnam factory stuff here. Is we've still had some hip issues, especially that right leg, but a lot of the other joints are not as stiff as they once were, is what I've been noticing personally here at the table. You do get a boot cut, ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down. And yes, Vietnam confirmed, and tassel back in the leg confirmed as well. Maybe. Might have to do that offline. Nobody wants to see me play with this forever. But I do like this Warrior. The beautiful hot dog tan looking absolutely amazing. You know I love that. It's just a little cartoony in the face. Just a little too cartoony. But still, it is a requested Warrior by myself and many others. Looks absolutely fabulous. I'm here for it. Give me all the Ultimate Warriors. Obviously, I'm a broken record. Obviously, I'm biased. But give me all the Warriors. Give me all the Warriors. I want the power of the Warrior. That's what I want. And speaking of Warrior, a lot of people forget way back in the basics day, we did get a basic of this version of Warrior. Doesn't have the beautiful skin tone color here, a little bit differences, but gets the point across. But man, oh man, that's a 15 years difference between these two, 14 years, something like that. Wild, wild times. But shout out to the Ultimate Warrior, my all-time favorite. Fun to get one. Just in the last month, getting 2 different Terry Funk figures and an Ultimate Warrior figure. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm eating good, as the kids would say. That's what my daughters say. Oh, you're eating good. Yeah, I'm going to Applebee's. I'm eating good in the neighborhood. What are you talking about? Maybe, maybe not. But now we're diving into John Cena. I think this is the first ever John Cena figure we've ever unboxed on the channel, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Cena not messing around these days, of course. We've talked about it in every single unboxing. We're going to save it for this one because of the length of the video. But we do get 2 gripping hands. I'm seeing a pattern. Gripping hands right there. But then he's going to shock a bra. He's going to hang 10 and surf and hang out with Matt Riddle. You better be careful with Matt Riddle these days, that's for sure. Watch out. Who knows what he's doing in his bathroom? I don't know. But John Cena looking wild here. But a classic Cena, that 54 jersey. I have no idea what the 54 is. Is that like Brian Urlacher? And this doesn't look like a Chicago Bears to me. I don't even know what jersey this is supposed to be. I don't know. But I remember seeing this 54 jersey over the years. And he just loves the number 54. Kind of like I'm number 33. He's 54, I guess. But I'm sure somebody in the comments will say, well, that's Byron Allen's jersey or whoever. I don't know. You guys tell me, I guess. We do get the spinner belt right here, and it actually spins. Nice to see that. Got the WWE Championship there, looking beautiful. Of course, we've seen the spinner title belts a time or two with John Cena. Soft good shirt is beautiful. It's like a real shirt too, no Velcro in the back. You do get the Cena hat on this, and is this the same hat I believe we saw with the Ultimate Edition just recently, if I'm not mistaken? You got the wrist tape or wristbands over here as well. Cena with that logo. Classic Cena head. I believe we've seen this one before, if I'm not mistaken, but the hat is removable on this one. Same articulation as everybody else, but we do got pin knees for John Cena. Unfortunate. You do got some interesting brown shoes down here. It looks like they're, well, maybe not. I was gonna say, are they the pumps? Man, I wanted pump shoes so bad when I was a kid. My dad's like, I'm not buying you those expensive shoes. But man, I just wanted to pump up. I just wanted to pump up on the basketball court. I just wanted to like call timeout. Hold on, everybody. Pump my shoes off and like, all right, now let's play. I wanted to pull that move. Never got a chance to, unfortunately. Never got a chance to. I was stuck wearing British Knights. That's what I was stuck to. No, I didn't. I don't even know what I wore. I didn't really care about shoes as a kid that much. It didn't really bother me. As long as my toes were comfy, I was good. So who knows? I was wearing some Converses, I think, probably. But anyways, got the shoes down here, the white and brown attack. And then you, of course, got the, I guess, jorts going on here. John Cena limited edition on the back of the pants as well. But a good looking John Cena, this one is here. Very, very nice looking. You got the usual face sculpt, but this just screams this era of John Cena to me. And dare I say, this could be the sleeper of the set. I'd love to say Warrior's the sleeper, but nobody's ever sleeping on Warrior. That's what I know. Maybe sleeping with him, but not on him. That's for sure. But this one could be the sleeper, this John Cena. This is one of the better Cenas, and we've got a lot of Cenas lately. This is probably one of the better ones, at least in my opinion, as far as what I think of with John Cena. But there it is, looking good, number 54 himself. But now we're going to dive over to Roman Reigns, and apparently they like Roman even more because he, of course, got the We the One hands. He got the gripping hands, but he got the fists. So he's fighting. If they're going to have a 4-way dance or something like that, he's cheating. He's got the fisted hands here. But we've seen these Roman hands numerous times. And I got to say, Roman, the most controversial of this pack, just because we've got so many Roman Reigns. I feel like I've got this figure 50 times in my collection. And it's right over here. I guess you really can't see it, but I feel like I've got this figure just repeatedly over the last couple of years at this point, is what it is, I guess. And I should I almost forgot. Jakks time, of course. The fun thing about all these Cenas coming out, I wanted to take a little backtrack here. Fun thing about all these Cenas coming out is I can go back to the Jakks days. That's John Cena's glory days of action figures. Figures all the time, as we did know. But we do got the 54 right here. So you can kind of see, once again, a touch to the past of Jakks. Always fun to do that on the channel. So now, back to Roman Reigns. I'm sorry I interrupted you. My tribal chief, of course. He does got the Roman title with the Roman side plates. Good to see that there. Throwing up the one hand, he's got the Umafala. His head does not stay on very good. Very easy to remove his head, I've noticed. When I was opening the package, it fell out of the package. Probably the easiest head to pull on and off if there ever was one there. But it is Roman, and like I said, I feel like I've unboxed this figure 50 times on the channel. You got the tattoos, you got the gauntlets on the arms, you got the glove over here in red, you got the Roman logo on the glove. He's got that smiling face, man, he's happy. And when you're talking about these four here, you know, you're just saying Hall of Champions. This is their champion. It's almost like it's a defining moment of the championship for them. I don't think of Roman as smiley face Roman, showing off those big chompers. I don't think of that. I think of him more determined, stoic face. That's the heart of the Roman run, at least in my opinion. Consider yourself different if you don't agree with me on that. But I feel like I would have rather seen something besides the smiling face. But don't get me wrong, this is a good smiling face for Roman, but I would have rather seen like a stoic face in here. But is what it is, of course. Black pants, black boots, got the Roman logo down on the shoes there, but pretty much the same song and dance. Now, pinless throughout, of course, same articulation with all these guys, but pinless throughout on Roman. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. You guys know how that goes. And of course, he does fit on a ringside stand using discount code Kyle to save 10%. But now we got the boys. They're all in there. They're ready to go. We got the greatest 4-pack of all time? Maybe. I don't know. It's a interesting one here. And as I said at the top of this episode, I think there's a lot of people that could go different directions on this pack. You either love it, you hate it. I would have rather seen, you know, Superstar Billy Graham in here instead of Warrior, or I would have rather seen The Undertaker in here instead of Cena. Whatever it may be, I think everybody's got their own dream selection 4-pack. Me personally, I would have loved to seen the packs by eras. Maybe in the future, you never know. Mattel, we know it all the time. If they can get access to people, they're going to put them out. They're fans just like us. They want those characters just like us. Maybe one day down the line. But I'm extremely happy to get this Warrior in my collection. This Cena is a very, very good Cena. We don't get a ton of Brunos. Of course, we got 2 prior ones. I'm good with the new Bruno. New head sculpt, new belt. Absolutely love that. And the Roman, easily the most forgettable of this set. Just feel like we've been here so many times. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad, folks. This is a fun, fun set. Hitting Target very, very soon this summer. Make sure you're picking it up over there. I understand. I know somebody in the comments is going to say it, so I'm going to beat you to it. That I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to get this pack on clearance. You never know what might happen in the clearance chicken game, but possibly we've seen it at Target time and time again. But this will be on the modular, taking place of, what is it, the Evolution pack on there right now? I think it's still hanging around, just hanging around, as they say. But not a bad piece of business. Got to thank Mattel for sending this my way. Happy to have this in the collection. And I'm not going to cancel my pre-order because I want a mint in box one because of my boy Warrior. So this was my loose one, and now I'll have my mint on box one, fingers crossed, coming from Target sooner rather than later. But there it is, the Hall of Champions 4-pack. What's your guys' thoughts? This one to pick up for you? A pass, long game, no game, clearance chicken game? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to both my YouTube channels. Check out Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. Check out my podcast each and every Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found. Videocast on YouTube. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. So for the Hall of Champions, I'm the Hall of Kyle, who's going to the Hall of Justice with his friend Todd McFarlane. And I'll see you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?